This week on Maker Update, trumpets that breathe fire, a pumpkin for typing, ready-to-roll couches, and a picture that's worth 1,000 balloons. Hello and welcome back to Maker Update. I'm Tyler Weingartner. I hope you're all doing great. We've got a really special episode for you here today because we are at Maker Faire Rochester. This is an event that I'm on the production team of. I've been helping out with this show for the past 3 or 4 years now, ever since I moved to Western New York. And this is a little bit of a different kind of Maker Faire because, well, as you can probably see, it's all indoors. The reason for that is because we're in Rochester, New York, and it's November, so it's a little chilly outside. There are a few projects outside that'll hopefully help keep us warm, and a ton of other makers that I can't wait to share with you. So let's go check them out.
So my name is Adam Foster, and I am a Rochester-based maker, and I have brought with me a couple of pieces, and one of them is the volcano that you see down there. And the other ones are the royal trumpets up here. The royal trumpets is a series of kinetic fire sculptures. They're rendered after medieval trumpets. Yeah, they shoot fire. What our end goal here is we're gonna have them actually tonally correct and hooked up to a keyboard. I'm a musician, so I've always, enjoyed making music and making art of all kinds. And this project was kind of just a culmination of everything coming together. The music, fire, metal work, things that I've really been into since I was a pretty young kid. So it's kind of the culmination of a lot of years of making, really. So here's a view of our controls for the system. It runs an Allen Bradley Slick 500 PLC controller. Everything is plug and play here as far as our power, our emergency stop. Each sculpture has its own Ethernet cable that we're running power and data for our linear actuators and our solenoids. That's all wired in here to our PLC. And then the PLC I plug in via USB to the programming software, and that's how I'm able to actually write programs for it, to actually automate it. We have our wireless remote right here, which is the receivers on the back with a series of relays. That ties into the inputs on the Allen Bradley, and then we have our outputs, which is our linear actuators and our solenoid controls. So it's a pretty straightforward setup, really rugged in the Pelican case. I mean, this has fallen off of a trailer before, and dust it off, plug it in, and it works. So it's kind of like the predecessor to your Raspberry Pis or your Arduinos, classic controls, and it works. So people can find out more about what we do at Foster's Cosmic Creations on our website or our Instagram. It is adamfosterart.com or adamfoster.art on Instagram. And yeah, feel free to reach out, drop an email, and check out the website.
Hi, I'm Elijah Horland. I'm one of the Mythbusters from Mythbusters Junior, and I'm also the executive producer of the new Coney Island Maker Faire. And I've come here to Rochester Maker Faire to show off the stuff I built and promote my Coney Island Maker Faire. This is a mechanical keyboard built into a pumpkin, but it's not just any mechanical keyboard, it's actually modeled after the Malling-Hansen writing ball, which was the first ever commercially produced typewriter. So it has this weird layout. It's not QWERTY because they didn't have QWERTY back then. It's this weird XZCHW layout. It's whatever the heck they came up with in 1860. So this is actually on a hand-soldered PCB, which took me about 48 hours to do and a month of planning. If you see this mess of wires, this is, whenever I take it apart and rebuild it, because the pumpkin only has about a month lifespan, a week lifespan, I have to untangle all these wires. It is fully functional. See, A, E, I, O, U. See, it works. It works in any computer that you have the US keyboard layout for. So this is a acoustic levitator. It was originally designed by a guy named Azir Marzo. He's very cool, he's very smart. He invented this. I just built this version. I added this voltage controller board onto it, and it's just an Arduino and a motor controller board controlling two sides of high frequency speakers. Fancy people call them ultrasonic emitters, but it's just a fancy word for high frequency speakers. So if you were to take a very small object and place it in here, it'll levitate there. And it's very easy to explain why this is happening, but it's not fans, these are actually speakers. So for every speaker down here, there's a speaker up here pointed at it, and they're both emitting standing waves. If we were just to take a set of two speakers and draw it out onto a whiteboard, it would look like this. So you have a speaker on the bottom and a speaker on the top, and this speaker is emitting a wave that looks like this, and this speaker is emitting a wave that looks like this. See these spots where the waves intersect? These are called nodes. Now sound is just wiggly air, so it's moving all the air around the nodes, but everywhere inside the node, the air is not moving. So if you place something inside of it, it'll get trapped there by all the air moving around it. Kind of like this. Imagine my hands are air and this egg is one of those dots. It'll do this to all the dots. So yeah, that's how you can float things inside of here. So, ever since 2020, the global maker fairs, Maker Faire New York and Maker Faire Bay Area, have not been happening. And it's very unfortunate because people like me in New York City have been left without a maker fair to go to, no inspiration to see. The only reason I'm here is because someone at Maker Faire suggested that I get on Twitter, and that's how I met all these great maker people. That's how I kept on coming to these maker fairs. It's very unfortunate that no kid in New York has that outlet anymore. Now, Coney Island Maker Faire is going to be happening from October 6th to October 8th of 2023, and I will be the executive producer of it. So if you come down to New York City during those times, come on over.
My name is Rylan Sharon. This is the RIT Robotics Club here at Maker Faire Rochester. So RIT Robotics Club, also known as Multidisciplinary Robotics Club, is a robotics club at the Rochester Institute of Technology where we take all majors and we build all kinds of robots. So we're primarily undergraduate students, and we have all different sorts of robotics projects to kind of highlight everybody's different interests in the club. So starting on this end, we've got our combat robots. This is Larry 2.0. So Larry 2.0 is our 3-pound robot that just recently went to the Norwalk Havoc Robotics League competition, where we competed against other BattleBots. Then coming down the line, we've got Catbot here. This is a prototype design. We're in our 3rd semester. We got about 2 semesters left. We've got a leg and a shoulder of what will be a 4-legged walking robot that uses both pneumatics and electronics to control, trying to take advantage of some of that soft robotics stuff. Couchbot is a favorite of the club. So Couchbot was started way back at the club's founding in like 2002, and it's literally a couch that's RC controlled with high power motors on it. It can go really fast, it's got lights, it's got music, and it drives around, it gives people rides. It's going to be driving around Maker Faire all day today. It's a huge blast. So you can check us out in our Instagram. That's RITMDRC, right? Yep, RITMDRC. If you're an RIT student, hit us up on campus groups, and that'll register you for our weekly emails, and you can start coming to our club meetings.
I'm Larry Moss. I'm the creative director of Airigami, and what we bring to Maker Faire is an opportunity for everybody to participate in an art project that's larger than they are. You know, how often do you get to do things, how often do you get invited to make something that is bigger than you? And when you get to work with, on this mural, about 400 people participated, you know, that's an incredible experience to be part of an art project that large. So an Airigami bubble mural is a balloon creation that you get to be part of. We map everything out ahead of time. It's a 2D balloon creation that's easy to follow by following a grid and following the map that we provide. And we have steps that you can follow to do it yourself. We're here to guide and offer a little assistance, but really the great thing about Maker Faire is that we're surrounded by so many makers that it's fun to have the makers here make things and us be able to sit back and just facilitate. So what we bring is an art project that everybody can learn to create. You can go to Airigami.com. You can see a lot of our old projects past bubble murals as well as 3D sculptures that we've done. Everything from really tiny things up through massive 5-story sculptures. And we'd love to hear from you and let us know that you'd like to be part of some future project that we do. And especially let us know if you'd like us to be part of a maker fair in your area.
All right, and that is going to do it for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it. We've had a blast putting this maker fair together over the past year, and it's been so much fun being able to go around and interact with makers in person again. I hope you enjoyed some of the handful of makers that we were able to share with you through this show. If you did, let us know about it down in the comments. As always, huge thanks to DigiKey for making this show possible and to you for watching. Take care. We'll see you soon.